Hey folks, it's Rob Flux here with another Sunday session, and today we're going to be talking about sourcing your development sites made easy and how can you do that. One of the biggest challenges that we find in talking to our community is how to find a deal and how to fund a deal. So today we're going to be talking all about finding deals and how you can actually, benefit from that if you are a deal finder. And on top of that, if you are searching for deals, where is the best place to actually find deals and how to actually make that happen? So in order to do that, I've got a special guest today, Steve Brennan from Development Sites Australia. Mate, how are you?
Very well. Thanks for having me, Rob.
Welcome aboard. Now, Steve, for complete disclosure, I need to declare that I own Development Sites Australia. So it's
correct.
So this is an initiative that came about from running the community over many, many years, where we saw a bucket load of issues, challenges, and problems, which we'll touch on in a sec. Why we actually created it. But why don't you just give us a little bit of a summary, firstly, of what the hell is Development Sites Australia?
Good question. It's it's basically an online platform or a marketplace for property developers to find development sites. So it's for deal finders to list sites and then developers to find those sites, and we facilitate that all through our Development Sites Australia website.
And I guess a nice, easy way of putting that is it's a marketplace for deal finders to find buyers and for buyers to find deals.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So now what makes it different, and there's lots of things that will go in that makes it different, is it's free to list, it's free to search.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
yes.
And at this moment in time, I haven't looked at the stats this very second, but I think we've got something in the vicinity of 350 odd deals sitting on our platform that are live at this moment.
Correct. 362.
362.
Yes.
See that, because you're on the ball, mate. So you know what's going on. So, Steve, I guess there's an entire team that sits behind us. There's yourself in Queensland. I guess there's Kevin in New South Wales. We're looking at another person in Victoria coming on in the not too distant future. Plus, we've got some back end staff that do a whole bunch of research and that sort of thing to try and assess the deals and put packages together on the deal. So it's quite a good turnkey solution, mate. So
it is, yeah. A team effort to get, it's a lot of work to get a deal on the site, and that's what we do in the background.
Oh, mate, I thought this deal finding gig was easy. When you say it's a lot of work, what do you mean?
There's a fair bit of time and effort that goes into finding a deal, as anyone that's searched for a deal would know.
Absolutely. So, mate, I touched on it during the intro, but fundamentally, I guess the single biggest problem that I hear from our community is finding the deal, right? And so we've there's a whole bunch of problems that are subsets of that with regards to finding the deal. But give us some insights into some of if you're a buyer of a deal or searching for a deal, what are some of the common challenges that you hear from our community that DSA or Development Sites Australia actually solves?
Everyone has a go at finding deals themselves, and it can be very time consuming and very frustrating. A lot of time, agents will give you deals that don't meet your criteria. You spend a lot of time researching and building your networks, and they don't actually send you what you're looking for. You might be a subdivider or looking for subdivisions, and they send you townhouse sites. So there's a lot of frustration I get from buyers that just can't get the deal that meets their criteria or their budget in their location that they're looking for. So it just becomes even more time consuming for them. You've got to look at a lot of deals before you get the one that works. So that's a big one.
That deal right there, it's clearly a deal. The agent's kind of brought it to you. It's come across your desk, and you've gone to the point of building a relationship with that agent. It is beneficial that you can help that agent out by actually finding someone else to actually take that. So you might be able to use that as an opportunity if it's off market, and that's the clear thing here, to actually list it through our platform, because you and only you know that thing actually exists right now, plus the agent. Now, important to note, the agent still gets their commission. So the agent is not getting shortcutted in any way, shape, or form, but you have actually been able to bring that to the platform and might be able to get a clip on the finder's fee, I guess, if we are able to find a successful buyer that actually is looking for that deal.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, yeah, why throw away a deal just because it doesn't suit you? There's still an opportunity to benefit from it. So get someone else in the community, might suit them perfectly. So that's how we help match them up. You know, you don't have to have those relationships. We've got those relationships. So let us help you.
And, you know, we're just shy of 20,000 people in our community that are all both finding deals and looking for deals all at the same time, and trying to get the right person to match up with the right other person, the right deal finder to find the right deal buyer. That's a lot of work.
It is, yeah, correct. It's in theory it sounds simple, but yeah, there's always a lot of people looking. They're not necessarily buying. People are at different stages of their pipeline of their development, so they need, you know, deals to come to them effortlessly, or others are, you know, in the middle of waiting for the next deal. So if you can join the dots and get the timing right, you make some money on the side.
That's the whole plan. Mate, what are some of the other challenges that you see buyers have? Because I know that we've got a bucket load that we see regularly.
Yeah, correct. And it's interesting. I mean, real estate agents, sales agents, I mean, they're sometimes a necessary evil, but they are very good at, you know, in their patch and in their area. They know the market very well. So you need to deal with them. You need to talk to them. I find a lot of people have a lack of confidence in talking to agents. Agents generally come across, you know, as an authority, and, you know, people doubt themselves. Whereas with the right training and education, you know, they know more than the agent a lot of the time. So we find that even dealing with vendors and agents, people just lack that confidence or lack the skills maybe or techniques to talk to them openly and get the information they need to, you know, to see if is there a deal there or not.
I'd say that confidence factor is a huge one that we see all the time. And, you know, there's limiting beliefs in the fact that, oh, it's my first deal and the agent's going to see that it is, and, you know, that, you know, why would they want to send the deal to me? All of that sort of stuff, right? So that challenge means that a lot of people just they don't step out. They don't step out of their comfort zone. So this is an opportunity to say, well, a lot of that relationship building we have done, or other deal finders have actually done, and in order to find and identify that deal. And you get to, well, I won't say take the easy path, but you get to ease yourself in and build your confidence up over time.
Yeah, that's right. And it's trusting your own numbers. It's trusting the process you've gone through to identify, is it developable? I mean, we do that very quickly and able to go through a lot of sites very quickly. So, and have those very, you know, frank conversations with agents or vendors about, is it developable or not? Is it financial or not? And so you can get on to the next one. You don't want to get stuck, you know, on a deal.
And I guess the other part to this is, even if you do have the confidence to start having those chats, it takes a lot of time to build the relationships, to build the network, to, you know, because there's tens, sometimes hundreds of agents just in one patch. So it takes a long time to build that expansive network of contacts and agents and that sort of thing that are going to fill the deals into the funnel. And so
correct.
This is a way of amplifying that and magnifying a small amount of effort from you, I guess, and the broader reach of the community as a whole in order to actually reach that.
Yeah, that's right.
And you touched on, I guess, the biggest one, which is, if you've gone to the effort of finding those, like building those relationships, chances are the agent is going to give you every development deal that they ever find at any point in time, because now you demand. So you're the one who they think that you can actually solve all of their development issues. So this is a way for you to actually do that.
Yeah, correct. And we've got a number of agents we talk to, you know, daily or weekly, where they're going to listing presentations and need our help. Can I subdivide it? Can I build townhouses? Is there a flood overlay? And so then we're getting leads earlier just from that exact relationship. You're helping them get listings, and then they're helping us get a, you know, good head start.
Well, and that's a really important point, because we have a huge number of agents that actually utilize that service. We're not talking small fry. We're actually talking a lot, because a lot of the time they're really good at actually understanding the emotional value of a property. So if we do go through emotional sale, but they don't necessarily understand the development potential and the fact that a developer values a property in a very, very different way to way an emotional purchaser would. And sometimes the developer will pay more and sometimes they'll pay less. So we can be that sanity check for them to make sure that the deal actually is a deal and it is actually has some legs on it. That enables them in many instances to go back to their vendor and have a very frank conversation to say, look, in this instance, you should go down the emotional sale path because no developer's interested. Or alternatively, hey, not only would developers be interested, but hey, we've got this army of people, of 20,000 people that would be super interested in that deal. So that makes it easy for the agent to actually get the agency agreement signed up at that particular point in time. So
yeah, correct. Yeah, they come across educated on the deal and and can offer that that they've got people already looking off market, which is what we want as well.
What's super important from an agent's perspective, as I touched on before, the agent is going to get looked after by the vendor with their sales commission. DSA, Development Sites Australia, actually operate as buyer's agents. We are actually representing the buyer in the transaction. So the agent is going to be protected. When they come to us, they know that they can have those frank, open conversations with us because we are not going to go around them or those sorts of things. So, there's a couple of sides to the transaction. So if you're an agent out there and you're got something that's coming to market, off market, have we got a deal for you? Yes.
Or you need some help assessing it. Which can be
Now we've touched on problems for buyers. We've touched on problems for agents. What about deal finders themselves? So some of the challenges where a deal finder, I guess, has negotiated a deal, identified it's developable, identified it's profitable, identified the terms that the vendor's actually after. What are the challenges that they then come across at that point typically?
It depends if they're licensed or not. So a lot of the time there's deal finders that aren't licensed, so they don't sort of have the same protections as a licensed agent has or a framework to work around. Part of what we do, obviously, with the 20,000 people in our database, like you said, we've got that list of ultimate buyers. So we don't, work with one or two buyers. We've got a very large list of buyers that with a large list of requirements from, 2 lots to 2,000 lots. So that's sort of the advantage to tap into that. Certainly for a deal finder, you're not just one person by yourself. You get access, to a larger group of network, but it's also through our license. We're licensed to deal with the buyers and sign all the legal documents to make sure that's a smooth process.
And that's probably something that needs to be kind of emphasized, because a lot of deal finders are out there not as licensed real estate agents, and they're working on a trust type relationship that they're trying to bring an ultimate buyer into the deal, and there's no legal way to actually claim their finder's fee. I guess so because of that, they tend to sign non-disclosure agreements as opposed to agency agreements and things like that. And so they're always in doubt that somebody's going to go around their back and shop them directly to the vendor. And so that trust is actually a huge part to this problem. And I guess plus the sheer effort of finding deals, right, burns so much time that finding the ultimate buyer, they haven't got time to find the ultimate buyer because they spent all the time finding the deal.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, the other big advantage is that speed to market, which is, it takes a long time to put due diligence material together. And we've got a team that helps us do that on a daily basis. So to be able to put that due diligence material together, assess the site quickly, and then also get it out to the ultimate buyers quickly as well is important. Because it's that speed to market. If you take 2 weeks to get it out there, then chances are the agent or the vendor's spoken to someone else in the meantime. So
you talk about the due diligence pack. I guess internally we're calling that a property information pack. So we have a team of people that I guess are specialised in going out and actually trawling, I guess, the council and state government websites to actually find all the issues and challenges that you actually need. So What is the zoning? What are the critical overlays? What are the contours going to be? Is there any development approvals that are actually sitting there? All the dial before you dig results, all of that sort of stuff. When we kind of package that all up together as, I guess the first stage of your due diligence, kind of in a box. It's really the ability to tap into that. And from a timeline perspective, by the time you submit a property, subject to how many properties we get in on any one particular day, but typically we're able to get that information pack out to the market and get the site live in less than 24 hours.
Yeah, correct. And that's our goal. Yeah, 24 hours to get it out there and get it live and active and get the buyers looking at it. And providing that information pack to our buyers allows them to make a quicker decision as well. So they're not, going away and doing all your dial for digs and waiting a week to come back to us. It's at their fingertips.
Absolutely.
Ready to go.
So
that's speed to offer, speed to market, and then speed to offer.
Absolutely. So I guess efficiency for the buyers, I guess that means that we have curated the deal and we've started to categorize the deal. So based on both the geography that it's physically located and also the development type that it's actually in. So is it a subdivision? Is it a townhouse? Is it an apartment complex? Is it a splitter block? We categorize it. And in many instances, a property might have multiple categorizations because there might be multiple ways of actually carving up that deal. So then the buyer can, I guess, set up all of their deal performance, their deal criteria, and get automated alerts to say, hey, here's the properties that fit your exact criteria.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a pre-filtered, which is saves an enormous amount of time.
Which means that when they come onto the website, they can actually just go straight in and say, I want to search for the deals that actually match my criteria. We're going to do a little bit of a demo a little bit later on as to how easy that is. And I think it's pretty amazing right now what it can do, but we've got a whole bunch more features in the pipeline that we're trying to build to make this bigger and badder than anything that you've ever seen, folks. But it's really, like you said, that automated filtering and that due diligence information pack, the property information pack at your fingertips within literally minutes of you going, hey, that property looks enticing, right? Those filters are straight to your inbox, but you can be doing this at midnight, right? And through the fact that we do this, I guess, all digitally and electronically, you're not having to deal with Steve or Kevin or any of the staff that we've actually got at any point in time. You're not having to deal with them and actually talk to them to find out about the deal. Instead, you just sign the agency agreement digitally, and then within a minute, that's in your inbox with a link to actually open up that property information pack.
Yeah, so just correct. Yeah, you can do 10 or 20 deals overnight before, without speaking to me. And once we get to the pointy end, then we need to talk. But correct.
Correct. And of course, our team will always reach out and go, hey, you've inquired on that particular property. Is there a level of interest? Can we represent you back into, I guess, the deal finder or the agent, whoever has actually brought us the deal? So we're going to represent you. That's the important part, the buyer, to actually negotiate on your behalf. So that's how we're trying to, I guess, fund the business per se, but we're on the buyer's side, but equally we've got to provide a platform for the deal finders and the agents in order to get to market, and having the largest property networking group in the country means we've got a very big market to make that actually happen.
Absolutely.
So
that's it.
Mate, from a deal finder's perspective, what's the key? How do we actually assist them from their side of things?
Well, I guess, from their point of view, I guess we take care of all that automatically signing up the buyers. So while they found the deal and the opportunity, we take care of the buyers, the legal work, the paperwork, which protects their finder's fee. And I guess that's the second part is actually they earn a fee. We don't want to hold the whole fee if someone else has done, all the good efforts in finding an off-market deal, which is not easy. So we acknowledge that by sharing our fee with them, if it's an off-market deal. So I guess we do all the automation, do all the legal, have all the information pack. We create all the information back for them. So, for them, they can earn a fee for, their efforts. And we take care of the legalities.
And obviously they have the relationships with the vendor. So there's a lot of information that we need to glean from them that we actually put into that information pack wherever humanly possible. So things like the motivation of the vendor. So is the vendor needing something on short, sharp terms and they just need the cash now? Or are they open to flexible arrangements like option contracts or joint ventures or all sorts of things like that? So, we've got our deal finders actually trying to give us the criteria that vendor is willing to work with, which when you're trying to go through a normal traditional approach where you're just dealing with an agent, quite often you don't get that level of information. So quite often the agent always, and we love you agents, we're not trying to have a go here, but you guys need to get fed. So you want your agent commissions straight away. And so when you go, are they open to flexible timelines? Typically we find the answer is no. I need to send the kids to school, right? So this enables us to have a lot more flexibility in the deal parameters, which then opens it up to more people actually being able to bid and qualify for a deal.
Yeah, and all that negotiation techniques and all that. I mean, that helps both our buyers and also our deal finders, because we do add that experience in closing the deal. Finding out what the vendor wants, finding out what the buyer can live with, and then finding some middle ground that works for everyone. That there's normally 3 or 4 different options that can go forward to a vendor to find out what they want. So that's an advantage to both deal finders and buyers.
Absolutely. Now, I touched on before, we've got a whole bunch of automation and customization that we've actually built into the platform already, but there's a bucket load more in the pipeline. So we might firstly just reference everybody to the link below. It's probably the best URL you can ever find if you're looking for development sites. It's development.site. That's the first.
Yeah.
That's the first part to that. No.com, no.com.au. Development.site, folks. So that's the first place that you're going to find it. So it's always top of mind. But mate, what are some of the features, whether you are a buyer or an agent or a deal finder? What are some of the features that we've got straight out of the box right now?
Well, I mean, from a buyer's perspective, all the sites are there now on the site. So if you go to the development.site right now, you'll see all the listings there. So it's not behind a gate, or we're not hiding it. What isn't available yet is the address. But what we do is give you a summary of every deal we've got, sorted by strategy or sorted by state. And then you're able to then also customize what you're looking for within the platform, which then allows to give custom alerts straight to your inbox. And the ability to basically have filtered searches coming to your inbox, or you can do filtered searches on the website yourself, giving you that list of opportunities that suit you exactly. And then obviously, like you touched on earlier, the information pack's a minute away once you sign up and get it, without needing me or any staff members, any humans. You get all that information straight away. So that's all in and operating right now. All the workflows are there working to be able to search for a deal, filter a deal, find a deal, and then sign up and get all information on the deal with little or no contact with us. And then obviously, like you said, we'll make contact after that point and find out if we can work out an offer or a deal that works for everyone.
I might drill into, I guess, one of the points that you made, but you kind of rushed through it super fast. I'm so excited about this platform, mate. I guess the fact that when you go to the website, without signing up, without doing anything, all of the deals are on offer, on display right this very second. So you can actually go and search a summary, an overview of those particular properties. It's not going to give away the address, like you said. We've tried to obfuscate, is the word, as much as we can to try and protect the innocent. But we've given you a heck of a lot of stuff. So we're telling you what LGA it's in. We're telling you what the zoning is. We're telling you what the land size is. We're giving you an overview of what's physically capable on the site. There's a whole bunch of info that we're giving you to say, hey, this is, this could be of interest to you. An aerial photo that doesn't give away the street name or anything like that. So an aerial photo that gives you some insights as to what it is that you're dealing with right here, right now. Okay. And then the next step in the process is, as you start listing through and trawling through all of those, and they're in the order that they were listed. So when you come to the website, if you were here yesterday and you come back today, then you only have to go through 10 or 15 deals, depending upon how many we actually found on that particular day, before you actually come back to the ones that you've already reviewed. So we're trying to make it as easy as humanly possible to do that. And then it's a single button from there, single button to say, hey, I'm interested, which then, I guess, puts in front of you the agency agreement and says, hey, there's a deal finder involved in this and they need to get fed along the way. If you are willing to say, and it will say exactly what that finder's fee will be. Now, typically, for most deals, that's a 2.2% fee. But sometimes if the deal is a cracking deal, then that particular deal finder might be wanting a little bit more in that process. So that is always on display up front. You know exactly what you're buying into up front. We know where humanly possible, we know what the price point is that the vendor's actually asking, what their asking price. So you've got a fairly good view. You can actually start to do some rough order of magnitude profit calculations before even, I guess, requesting any info on the site. At that point, you digitally sign the agency agreement, and a minute later in your inbox is the link to that full property information pack.
Yeah, correct. And all tracked too, I suppose, is the other advantage too right now, is all that information. You can see what you've previously searched or signed agreements on. You get a little list of that. You can always go back to all the old properties that you've looked at if you want to go back and check them out as well. So it's all in this area for you to access.
As you said, it's digitally tracked. So as the status of that property changes, so if it's either been withdrawn or sold or things like that, you know straight away. If it says that it's live, it's still live. If it says it's withdrawn, it's withdrawn. We may be able to reactivate that, subject to a few things, but if it's sold, it says that it's sold. So we're very proactive on making sure that we follow up on the deal finders that brought us the deal to make sure that the deal is still actually alive at any one point in time. So that clearly takes a bucket load of effort and manpower or person power. I need to be careful with political correctness these days. So it takes a lot of manpower to make sure that those things are actually up to date. So
Yep, yeah, we want our list to be as refreshed and up to date as possible, and that's on a daily basis. We refresh the list. So
you said tracking the deal, so that's equally anyone who submits a property. So if you are an agent submitting a property, or if you're a deal finder submitting a property, know that in the back end, we as the buyer's agent can actually see how many people have actually inquired on your property. We can see, did they just glance at it? Did they loiter on it? Have they made a genuine offer on it? And we are proactively reaching out to them to go, hey, are you actually interested in that deal? Because, it's in our best interest to actually, find a buyer and match the buyer to the deal. So we do huge amounts in building relationships with our buyers. So every buyer that actually submits, we will give them a call and we will walk them through the process to go, how do we actually capture what your criteria is from a deal type and a deal size and a deal geography? That then means that we have a really good database, know exactly what our buyers are looking for, where they're looking for it, so we can match as fast as humanly possible the deal to the buyer.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And that can be updated too as you evolve or get bigger. You can increase your deal size or increase your strategy as well, or change your strategy too. So all of that's all there for you to update.
Yeah, so we have a members area where you can actually update and customize your deal criteria. We've got a bunch of features that we're going to be turning on in the not too distant future with some super advanced filters that we can actually do that. That's coming soon. I don't want to make a promise on some things, but what we've got right now is very user friendly, very fast, very efficient. So, mate, we're a buyer's agent. We're representing the buyer. We're charging a fee to introduce them, and some people are, I guess, they've dealt with buyer's agencies before, and they've got this perceived experience as to what to actually expect. How is Development Sites Australia different to other buyers agencies?
Yeah, I guess commercially, I mean, the main difference, a lot of the questions I get, around a lot of other buyers agents charge an engagement fee, like an upfront fee, or an ongoing retainer while they're searching for your property. We don't charge that, so it's no upfront fee, no ongoing fees. We purely get paid on success. So once your property goes unconditional, that's when we send an invoice for our fee. But up until that point, it's there's no cost. So no cost up until that point. A lot of buyers, I guess another difference is a lot of buyers agencies also require you to be exclusive with them for any purchase, not just that property. So we only ask that once you sign an agreement on a particular property that you're exclusive on that particular property, but you're free to search for deals for yourself. You're free to use other buyers agencies, but there's no need once you see our platform. And I think that's probably the commercial differences from a buyer's agent perspective. I mean, the big difference is clearly our platform and the ease of use and the digital tracking of all opportunities, and how fast that is getting sites out to people. So that's sort of the commercial and also the practical ways we get sites to our buyers or receive sites from our deal finders.
And probably worth re-emphasizing that exclusivity one, because that's a gotcha that a lot of buyers agents will do. Is you'll sign the engagement with them, and they will say you are only going to buy deals through us, for that period of exclusivity, which means that if you do go somewhere else, then you technically owe them a commission irrespective. So that does not apply here. The only thing that we are locking you into is that one deal you made the inquiry on. So you inquired on that. That has come through our platform. That's the one we're going to hold you to. All the rest, you're free to roam wherever you want, as you should be. It's an open market. You should be able to find deals from anywhere, including sourcing your own deals. I think that's super important.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and if you've signed with another buyer's agent and do source your own deal, they'll stick their hand out for a fee. So, that's not happening here.
So, I guess the other thing that we're different, I guess you said our platform, but the digital tracking of all of those opportunities, the fact that we can track every engagement of any description that's actually happened. So anyone who's just trawled and actually had a look, anyone who's actually gone through and actually signed the agency agreement, we're tracking all of that. So we can, from the deal finder's perspective, we can have good, frank, open conversations to say, hey, in all honesty, we've only had 2 people look at that because your price point's way too high. Or we can go, mate, there's a ton of activity on this particular one, and we're negotiating with half a dozen people at this point in time to actually take that off your hands. So that gives us some really, really good insights into, the viability of deals and the attractiveness of that deal to the market.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And also that automation side of things. So, as much as people will find you personable after today, mate, the fact that you don't have to wait to talk to a human about that deal. We touched on one of those problems right at the very start, that people were shy or not confident and that sort of thing and didn't want to appear silly. So this allows you to actually get access to the information that you need at any hour of the day. You can search at midnight if you want, and a minute later, you'll actually have access to the deal. And Steve will call you in the morning, mate.
Yeah, call you. That's right.
I'm not going to call at midnight.
No, thank you.
Perhaps on Sunday, but other than that. Mate, what are the most common questions that you get about the platform? You touched on a couple of things before. What's the most common one that you start to get?
Well, I suppose we've already sort of just talked about. I guess it's that. How much does it cost? Which is what we've said. It's free to list a property. It's free to search for them. It's free to inquire on them. The fee only applies, once you actually go unconditional on a deal. And like we said, that's at that 2.2%.
For most deals, we want to qualify that for most deals.
For most, yeah, correct. But that's disclosed on each of the summaries before you actually inquire. You'll see all of that. And again, the one I get from deal finders, I suppose, just how are they protected? Around our legal agreement. and explaining that it is all digitally tracked, so we can see who's looked at it, we can see who's inquired, we can see who's been given the addresses. So that's important. We also get questions around whether the deals are on market or off market, and the answer is we do both. Ideally, we have 2/3 are off market and 1/3 on market, and it's the on market ones. While we do that, again, we've got a big range of buyers from very little experience to just first timers to very experienced developers. So some of those first timers or people that are learning are happy with on market deals, but again, all transparent before you even inquire on the property. You know that's whether it's on or off market. And a lot of the time, the on market ones sometimes will pick up. The agent doesn't realise it can be subdivided because it's within 200 metres of a shopping centre, for example, or we actually think you can get more out of it than what they're suggesting. It might be advertised as a 3-block subdivision, but potentially you could get 4. So we're always looking at those angles, the different angles on those online listings.
Well, and sometimes even the agent doesn't know it's developable at all. So
correct, yeah, they're the best ones.
yeah.
They're just selling it as a house, but we know it can be developed. So
yeah,
there's those questions around that. Obviously, the off-market ones come through the strength of our network and our deal finders. So the more agents we help on market, the more likely they're to give us off-market opportunities as well. So that was that extension of us helping them determine how developable their block is or how many townhouses they can get on there. It's also in the future, they bring the deals to us first. So
yeah, well, we've got to sell the one that's public for them to build the trust with us to say we can deal with the one that's coming to market. But it's amazing how many times that you'll find that a buyer just doesn't have the bandwidth or the time to trawl all the different listing portals to actually find that on-market property. Because on-market, and this is probably more of an explanation on how the process works, but the agent will try to get a listing off the vendor and then try to convince them into a marketing package. Now, depending upon how much budget that particular vendor has, or whether or not they're tight as a fishes, it's sometimes that will make it all the way through to realestate.com and Domain and Homely and a whole bunch of other portals. It'll kind of go far and wide, in which case everybody's seen it. And sometimes they go, no, I don't want to spend anything on marketing. I only want to list it on the agent's little local portal that is only displayed to that one particular suburb. And so it is technically on market, but nobody's going to find it unless you're actually trawling everywhere to actually find it. So it's those little gems that we pick up that some of the others don't because of the strength of those relationships. Yeah,
exactly right. And I think it's becoming more and more common since COVID. I think it's come in that more people don't want people trawling at open homes and coming through and disturbing them. If they can have a quiet, discreet off-market sale, that's what they prefer, and they don't have to pay the marketing. So we can come in and help them.
Absolutely. So, and from a deal finder's perspective, I guess one of the common questions that we get is, well, how much do they get paid?
Yeah, that's normally the first question from them. In fairness, so on a deal finder for an off-market opportunity, we're happy to share our fee 50-50. So I guess we look at it you found the opportunity, you've used your networks and your relationships to find that deal. Now let's work together, use our legal documents, use our buyer network to match that up. So
and our agency license, because a lot of them aren't licensed.
Aren't licensed, yeah, correct.
Allows us to be able to legally charge the finder's fee and be able to give them a referral as part of that process so that everyone's actually protected in the process, and also protect the fact that nobody's going to go around them. So
that's right.
So it's 50-50, folks. I don't know that.
Yep. You find the deal, we find the buyer. Easy.
Don't know that it can be any fairer than that. So, mate, we've talked about how wonderful this product is. We should probably give people just the tiniest of demo to actually just have a look. Now, as I said, development.site, you can. It is the best URL that you're ever going to find for any development site out there. Now, this is the website. So now I have just created a brand spanking new user to actually interact with this because I didn't want to show you all the deals that I've submitted. I didn't want to show you all the deals that I have actually I guess, inquired on for myself. So even me use the platform to actually look for stuff. So when you come here, I guess there's a whole bunch of, what are our services? How does that actually work? It's going to help if I actually click on the right page. How does our services work for each of the different activity types? How to actually, who we are, what we're about, that sort of thing. Some frequently asked questions, all the stuff that we just answered and a whole bunch more. And if you need to contact us, how to do that. But if you're a deal finder, right? If you're a deal finder and you want to submit your property, if you're an agent and you want to submit your property, it's basically just come straight here. And when we come here, waiting for it to load, we can submit your property, book a call, submit our property. At this point here, it's basically, as I said, John Doe, that's who I am today. We can list our property, what is the street address and that sort of thing, and answer a very simple question. Do you know everything about the property? Do you want to give us a whole bunch of information that you've already gleaned? In which case it'll ask for, all the things that you know about that particular property. Or do you want us to do all of that homework for you? Which we will do anyway, just for the record. But sometimes the deal finder is a little bit novice, let's just say, and doesn't really know everything. And so they want us to do pretty much all the work for them. That's okay, we can do that. Our preference is if you know all about the property, then give us as much information as you know. So what are the vendor motivations, and why are they selling? What's their time frame? All those sorts of things. Anything that you could do. Are they open to JVs and option contracts and all that sort of stuff? The kinds of questions that a normal agent won't actually ask you. So if you know that they're open to stuff, that's going to make this deal way more attractive to everybody else.
The other point, Rob, there is other property developers also list their deals. So a lot of developers sometimes get a DA and then decide they want to sell it, or they've got too much work on their plate and want to sell the site. So again, they know a lot about their own site and what they're prepared to accept and not accept. So developers are also one of our people that submit sites.
Absolutely. So when we do that, that goes into our back end. We've got a workflow that gives an alert to Steve, gives an alert to our back end staff. They go and do the gathering of that property information pack. That then comes back to Steve and Kevin and co. And they will actually then do, a rough yield analysis of the site. And at that point, they'll actually make it go live. And when it goes live, it then gets categorized into what's physically possible. So then within usually 24 hours, people can then start to search for that property almost instantaneously. Okay, so it does take a small amount of time to put that information pack together. But now we can start to put in some keywords as to the kind of strategy you want or the location that we want, the LGA. If you only want to search for a particular LGA, I could bring up just all of those. Or we've actually got them sorted by the development strategy. So for example, if I'm looking for subdivisions, I can look at that and it's going to go and filter those. And straight away, so that's going to bring up the Queensland subdivisions first and then keep on going in this particular instance, because that's where I'm located. But you can see straight away, we've got, an aerial photo of the particular deal, an overview of what is physically possible on the site. You can see what council it is, what zoning it is, what land size, what frontage it is, 5 meter frontage. That's because of that battle axe handle. Okay. We can see, is it on market or off market? So in this instance, it's actually on market. We can see whether or not there's a development approval in place, yes or no. We can see where there's a price guide. They will actually list that. Where there's no price guide, it'll say seeking offers. But further down, we can actually see off-market opportunity. Here's one that's off-market as an example. So all you have to do at that point is click on the Inquire Now. When you click on Inquire Now, it goes to this page here, which is more of a disclaimer or letting you know that, hey, you're about to sign up to an agency agreement. So this is telling you what the next steps are. It's telling you what the finder's fee is and telling you that it is actually going to apply, and go and sign the agency agreement. Now, once you sign the agreement, then you get access to the information pack. So I'm not going to finalize this one because I don't want to give away the address to everybody, but it confirms this is now a legal contract. This is the agency agreement that you're actually signing up with us. So it's telling you who our solicitors are, all that sort of thing. It's telling you another bit of an overview, and the T's and C's are in full display. Everybody can actually read those on the spot, and then come all the way down. I acknowledge, and if I click I accept, at that point, it's going to then process that and then spit you an email out. And about a minute later, you're going to have a link to go to the full information pack on that particular property. Now, we're not going to go and do that because we want to protect this particular deal finder. So that's a no-no. So we eat our own dog food. We're going to make sure that that's actually the case. But when you do, that then shows up in your members area. So if I come to my members area, I've got a whole bunch of things that I can do here. Again, this is a brand new, I guess, profile that I've literally just set up. But I can see what properties I've submitted if I have submitted some as a deal finder. And I can also see what properties I've actually signed agency agreements on. And now that will actually have a summary table below that. Because this is a new profile, it's not actually showing at this point in time. But that summary profile will actually show you the status of every single one of them as you go. And if you've submitted a property, you can update the status. So, hey, it's been withdrawn. Hey, it's not, it's been sold, whatever it is, you can update that yourself, and then we won't harass you, but we will proactively reach out and go, what's the status of that property if you haven't? But it's up here where we can, I guess, customize our deal alerts. So this is super helpful where we can actually, how do we actually define ourselves? Are we a developer? Are we an agent? Are we a homeowner? That sort of thing. So what is the development deal types that we're actually looking for? What is the deal size? If we've got a preferred deal type or deal size, and then I guess what states are we actually looking for deals? So when we start to look at that criteria, this is then what all of your automated alerts are then actually based on. So then that then allows you to, I guess, on a regular basis, get those alerts to say every time one of those deals that match your criteria come live, you're going to get the alert on that. Now, we're going to be introducing a couple of features in the not too distant future. So this coming soon one, where some people are worried about, I guess, a number of alerts because we've got so many properties that are actually coming live. So I guess while you're here, go and actually set it up and say, do we want instant alerts as soon as the property goes live? Do we want daily alerts, which would be one summary email at the end of the day? Or do we want weekly alerts, one at the end of the week? Now, if you're waiting to the end of the week, folks, and everyone else is getting instant, you're probably going to miss out on an opportunity or two. But we're giving you the flexibility to actually choose that. Now, that is a coming soon feature. But while you're in there setting up your profile, I guess do that. And then once it is live, then we will know exactly what it is that you're actually trying to do. And that's basically as complicated as the site gets. So once they're in the system, then we can, I guess, have those conversations. We can reach out to someone and go, right, you made an inquiry on that particular property. Is that still of interest to you? If not, what is the criteria? Why did that one not fit? So we build those relationships with people. So if we know why it didn't fit, we'll take some notes on that in our internal CRM. And then next time a deal comes up, we know whether or not we need to harass you or harass you really hard because you're super interested, or not harass you at all because you said, hey, hang on, I'm taking a hiatus at the moment.
Yep. Yeah, and we also give some of that feedback to the vendor or the agent too. We rely on our buyers for two-way information, two-way communication. So if you've found something we haven't, happy to let the vendor know, because everyone's going to find it eventually in due diligence. So
everyone will find it eventually in due diligence. And it's about those upfront and frank conversations in that. So, mate, I know all about this, but it's been super great to talk to you and get the message out. The platform has only been, I guess, alive for about 4 months, and already, what did you say, 362 deals on there right now. So, but before that, it's taken us a long time to build this platform. And we are adding more and more features almost on a daily basis. So, and based on the feedback that you guys and girls out there are actually telling us, both as a deal finder, an agent, and also as a buyer, the feedback that you're saying, hey, we want this extra feature, can we make that happen? We're listening and we're proactive, and it's actually anything that we can do to make your life easier is going to make our life easier as well. So, mate, any parting words you want to, I guess, give our audience out there?
I think just get on the website, get it and have a look. That's what I say to people. You can't break it. You can inquire on as many properties as you want, even if you're just researching. If you're in research phase, that's okay too. After we have the first couple of conversations, I'll know you're researching. But if you at the pointy end of I need a deal, my pipeline's running out, then tell me that, and we'll tailor our alerts and tailor everything to get you a deal as fast as we can. So I think the main point is, go on there. You can't break it. Look at as many properties as you want. We'll talk plenty of time, so go and have a crack and match it in, regardless of where you are in your process. So
correct. And some of I just had a question pop into my head that we should have done before. So from a deal type and a deal size perspective, I guess we've got buyers from I guess wanting to have a basic splitter block all the way up to 500 and 600 lot land subdivisions. So we've got deals that match all of that criteria. We've got deals on here which is for I guess a basic duplex all the way up to 16-story apartment complexes. So it doesn't matter how big or small you are as a developer, folks. It doesn't matter what kind of deal size you've got as a deal finder. We've got the platform that I think is going to be the one that goes everywhere else. Another point of difference over some of our competitors, the lack of fee to actually list the property.
Yes.
So if you're on realestate.com, Domain, Real Commercial, Development Ready, all of those sorts of, they're charging advertising dollars to get you in front of the audience.
Yep.
We are not charging any of that. So it is a pure buyer's agency, a success fee based on, I guess, somebody actually wanting to transact on your deal. So there is zero risk in you actually putting a deal up and nothing but opportunity to actually get it in front of a really, really large audience.
Yep, that's right. And I guess we're all up and down heavily on the East Coast, Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, couple of sites now in South Australia. So you can Sydney and Brisbane.
Branching in South Australia and WA as well. So as the size of our community starts to broaden from where our meetups are running in the property developer network space, then the Development Sites Australia space is growing, I guess, in the same proportions as well.
Yeah.
And we're seeing just exponential growth in this platform, given how new that it actually is. And I'm super pumped at having identified the problem first and now have a solution that is actually working and people are actually transacting on it, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very exciting. Exciting times.
Exciting times. Well, mate, if they want to reach out to you, the best thing that they can do is actually sign up to Development Site, put in your criteria, and whether it be Steve, Kevin, or one of our other staff will actually proactively reach out to you and go, right, let's have a chat. And you get the opportunity to also book directly into their calendars. So if you want to actually have a chat and go, look, this is really what I'm looking for, we will have that real personal touch for you as well. So
absolutely,
mate, been a pleasure in sharing both the story and the journey as to where we are, and more importantly, where we're going.
Yeah, that's it.
Mate, thank you for your time. And folks, if you are watching this Sunday session, know that we do these most Sundays at 5 p.m. Brisbane time. We also run meetups all the way around the country: Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, and now Adelaide as well. And soon to be Perth. We're coming your way. So folks, till then, bye for now.
Thanks, Rob.